Another excellent morning outside of Raymer Woodyard. We're at the country club still. Got a little loading to do today. I'm gonna load it probably to the top of the bed of my truck here. Red oak, and then take it back to my woodyard, split it, and stack it. So I'll probably get close to a face cord in here, stacked, probably something like that. That's about as much as my truck. This is a short bed, 5.5 foot bed of my F-150 crew cab, 3.5 liter V6. If I had to do it all over again, I would get the Coyote 5.0, just because I don't like the turbos. EcoBoost is good for that initial torque, but I already had a leak at one of the turbos, and it was very expensive, very costly repair. I've got about 175,000 miles on my truck. It's been fine other than that leak and the moon roof, which has been a nightmare situation for this truck. That costs $2,500 to repair the moon roof, and now it leaks. It's been leaking for a while, and I can't seem to fix that either. So anyway, no more moon roof, and probably 5.0, the Coyote V8 engine, if I were to get it again. Anyway, this is not about that, it's about the wood, but I had to get that off my chest. Anyway, that's funny. Not the best view in the world for y'all, is it? Man, some of these pieces like this right here, that is going to be a pleasurable splitting experience. It's going to be nice. That is going to be stupendous. All right, we are locked and loaded, y'all. Here we go. It's splitting time. Squatting a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's ready. She's ready though. Little dent. Little dent. Maybe 4 trips. That's what I'm thinking, maybe. Yeah, probably. I think I'd get lucky if I had 3. A lot of wood left. All right, it's to the woodyard. All right, y'all, we have another friend of the woodyard. I think that's a garden spider. I think that's what they call that, but it's a monster. I don't know if I can't give you a perspective how big it is. It's probably about 2 inches at least across. Big boy. Here's my little sled, y'all. This is what I use for kindling. When I split it off the splitter, I just put it in there, and then I'll just drag it back up there to underneath my lean-to. Probably is what I'll end up doing with the kindling. I don't know. Still trying to figure out a great place to put it. This is what I'm working with. Y'all can see right out of the back of my truck, my tailgate here. Be nice. Here we go, right here. That's nice, right? It does take a little bit to set up though. I got to get the extension table on the log splitter, which is back at my lean-to back there. Got to get my 2 wheelbarrows over here. Got to make sure I got a pallet over here so I can stack. So there's a little bit of setup here. All right, start her up. Single wedge, I'm gonna make some beautiful wood. All right, that's about as much as I'm gonna put on my splitter before I start stacking it. But look at the amount of trash on a single wedge. There we go. Trash. And then I threw a couple of pieces. Let's see what I threw over here in the wheelbarrow. Nothing in that one because there's no kindling. And that's the only one that I threw in the wheelbarrow. Just a tiny little piece right here. So that's pretty impressive. Not trashy at all. But it also wasn't extremely knotty stuff. It was mostly pretty straight rounds that I had in there. Beautiful splits. Look at that. Beautiful stuff, y'all. Beautiful stuff. All right, so I'm over here in my wood bin. Started this around the beginning of March, I believe. You can kind of tell the new ones that I took out near the bottom or the middle of the pile, put them on the top. See how pretty those are. It's almost looked like they were covered, right? Looks like they were almost in my lean-to this whole time. So I'm gonna try and stuff those back in there. Anyway, so got these two out, kind of in there quite a bit. Try to get in the middle as much as I could, kind of near the bottom half of the pile. All right, here's one. Looks pretty good. This is white oak. Looks pretty good. Not really any cracks. Here's another one. Not really any cracks yet, but they sound great. See if I can prop y'all up. I'll let you know what it sounds like. There you go. That's what it sounds like. Like I said, this was around the beginning of March. Sounds pretty good, but I wanted to show y'all also that in this pile, I also found some pieces with some mold on it. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it's actually green. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera or not. But that is some mold in the pile. And I split this, like I said, March, which it probably had some humidity in the air in March. It's not terrible like the summer, but there's another piece of the end. You can kind of see that's green mold a little bit on there. So there's, this was, I'm pretty sure this was not a live tree when I cut it, because it was at Brent's wood yard. And I don't know how long it had been there for. Here's another piece. Kind of tell. Some green mold, and this is white oak. Yeah, it does have bark on it. But I found pieces that it has mold on it that doesn't have any bark on it either. I don't know how much. Just when you reach your hand in there, it feels so cold. Let me get this out of your way. It feels so much cooler than, it's like a basement or a crawl space. That's kind of what it feels like. But not all the pieces have mold on them. I have not looked at the pecan yet, which I'm kind of nervous about because I know the bugs love the pecan. This piece just has a little bit on it, not a whole lot. It's got a little bit. Okay. So I don't know how well this is going to do here. I'm going to split I think these are the piece I looked at. Yeah, I'm gonna split these two pieces right there. And we'll see after only being in here since March. We shall see. I used to splitting it this side. Let's see what the moisture reader reads here. As long as it's working. It's been a little bit. .6%. 24%. 24% and probably 24%. Let's see this. 24%. So since March, April, May, June, July, August, about 6 months. It's like right at 24%. Sounds pretty good though. Not always the sound, right? Because if I went by the sound, then I'd probably say it's probably dry. But there's not a ton of splits on the ends either. I don't know if I can tell. It's starting to, but it's not a lot of cracks. All right, truck bed is empty. Finished stacking. And that is all of the kindling that I have. And that's just a little bit of the trash that I have. I mean, there's some over here I'm gonna have to pick up just a little bit. And that's underneath the splitter. Not much at all. That is from that entire truck bed full up to the top of the rails there. Not much trash, which is lovely. So, kind of see what I got done to about right there. Okay, right there. That's kind of what I got done. That and the other side. It's probably about a face cord. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that. Hope y'all have a great day. Remember, it's Raymer wood. It's just the right size.